All right.
It's good.
Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome. I hope everybody's having a nice Friday morning, nice, brisk, and cold. Today, we're going to be going over the second session on MoxieWorks, in particular, the Moxie Present. We're going to be going over, we're going to be fine-tuning the seller's presentation, which is a seller presentation that you would utilize for a listing appointment. And then we're also going to dive into the buyer's presentations, which are not as popular, but you guys should learn these, okay? So first and foremost, this is your dashboard to Dash, okay? I'm going to show you, to Desk. I'm going to show you how to get in there again. So if you open up a new browser, right, you should save it on your desktop, on your favorites. You click on Desk, and then if you have your passwords automatically in Google, then it should just sign you in automatically, okay? And these tiles you can move, okay? I like to keep the ones that I utilize, just like in a Google search, you pretty much stop after the first or second page and only utilize the first page. Same thing you should do with your desk. Is use whatever tiles you're utilizing the most is the ones that you should have readily available to you, okay? So we're going to go ahead and click on MoxieWorks, okay? Let me close my window really quick. Sorry about that. Here's a little bit of traffic. All right, here is what's considered the hub, okay? Once again, on the left-hand side right here where it says MLS, it's very important. If you click on MLS and you don't see your credentials right here, this is not going to work for you, okay? It's not going to communicate with the MLS. You're not going to be able to get comps, and you're not going to be able to create these beautiful presentations. So you have to make sure that your MLS is in here, okay? And if it's not, you're gonna have to email me and contact me, and I'll make sure I get that fixed for you, okay? All right. So up here, these are your tabs. And today, later on during the months to come, we're gonna go into Engage, my website, and Impress. But for today, we're just gonna stick with Present, okay? All right, so as you can tell, I created some presentations here. There's a commercial presentation, land for development. Here's a seller's presentation. There's a property review, property tour, and also there's also a buyer's tour here too. Give me 1 second.
You can see the full you're showing because there's got it. You have to click on got it so we can see everything. It's blacking it.
Call Edgar and have him fix it over there. Sorry. Okay, so the first thing I wanted to go over is these little icons right here on the side of your presentation. When you have a presentation that you've already completed and you want to edit, you want to click on this little pencil right here, and that'll open up your report and enable you to go back and edit it. You can, go back and edit your the subject property. You can change it. You can edit your comps. When you click on search, let's just say on this one right here, I clicked this comp, but I didn't want to include it after all. So I unclick it, and then you can click on mentor, and then you just press continue. Now it's going to go to listings. Okay, so again, if you wanted to add a custom listing, you can add a custom listing, and then you go to estimate. If you wanted to change something here, you can change it. You want to change your closing costs, you can change it, and then your pages as well. If you want to add a page, delete a page, you can go ahead and do so here. So for the sake of, I'm going to go back to the home page. So that little pencil right there, that's where you would go to edit your report, okay? This little clock right here, it's just telling you when you created it and when you updated it, or if there's any changes to it. So that's all that clock right there does. Now, when you click on the three buttons, they're going to give you a lot of options, okay? You can choose to review the report. That's the web view. So there's two different types of reports that you could send to your client. The first one, and I think the most effective one, is the web presentation. That's where your buyer can actually be interactive with the presentation and click on the certain comps and review the data in there. If you do it as a print presentation, like a PDF, they're actually going to get the PDF presentation and it won't be interactive, okay? And I'll show you both types in just a second. Now, if you want to email the report to them in the web format, this is where you would email it, okay? So if you go into the report, a lot of people do that. They go into the report. I'm going to show you right now. This is the actual report that your client's going to be seeing, whether they do it on mobile, on their phone, or on their desktop. And you can scroll down. You see how it's interactive? You could click on something and then it will show the property. Let me move this real quick. So that's the web presentation, okay? But you cannot email it when you're actually in the presentation, okay? You have to come back to these three buttons and you have to email it from right here, okay? That's where you would click that, and then you would put person's name. I'll send it to Edgar, okay? Let's see if he pops up. There you go. If you want to send it to a different, two different people, you can add another person. I could put Anna for the sake of, let's say there's two sellers you want to send it to, okay? And then your subject. This subject is very important, okay? That's going to be your tagline. So if you're using this presentation for prospecting, right? This is what they're going to see in their email subject line. So that's going to, the more, how can I put this? The more enticing the subject that you put there, the better odds that they're going to open it and view your presentation. So this is very important. So I would put, this is a buyer's presentation, but let's just say, check out this property, right? That's kind of like, okay, cool. Let me check it out. You know, so it'll cause you get better odds for someone to open up that email and actually go through your presentation, which is the whole point, right? For them to see your branding, see your presentation, and hopefully become your client. The greeting, that's where you would put like, hi, Edgar. That's what I put right there. And then your message. I created whatever you want to put, and then if you click this button right here, you're always going to get a copy of the report. So I always do that because I always want to see the report before I send it out. So if you want to do that before you send it out to someone, you can actually do that. But by viewing it before you send the email, it's doing the exact same thing. So you don't have to go through the whole process. But I always click it here anyways, so I can get a copy, okay? And then you send it. I just sent the report both to Anna and Edgar, okay? So that's where these three buttons are. So you could also do a duplicate. The settings in the duplicate are really a function that you're not going to be using, so I don't think you have to go into it. This is just making an actual duplicate of this presentation. It'll pop up right now, watch. See? It's a copy of Mr. Buyer. This exact same. I'm not sure why that function is there, but I never use it, so I wouldn't even, but I'm just going to delete it. So it brings to the next topic, which is delete. Yes. All right, so we went over viewing the presentation.
We're in a meeting now.
When you go to print, it'll generate a PDF. Again, it's not going to be interactive with your report's not going to be interactive with your client. It's gonna
To
be,
what,
yeah,
today
so
on
it's gonna be a
Build-A,
flat
cause I
document.
was in a
okay?
meeting and I
You're
got
not
on
gonna be
that
able to
late,
click on the
so I didn't
top
understand too
and
much.
interact with the presentation.
What
I'll
about,
show you what it creates.
mm,
Hi, Catherine,
what
can
about-
you mute yourself, please?
12 o'clock, 11 o'clock, cause this shouldn't, we should be up here at 11.
And there's a presentation right there.
All right, thank you.
You see how it's a PDF? I mean, it's a nice presentation, don't get me wrong, but it's just not interactive. Catherine, can you unmute yourself, please? And there you go. I think these presentations are much better than the iCloud or the CMA Cloud. And it also brands you a lot better too. So as you can see, those are all the comps that I chose. It's pretty extensive. If you ask me, I would always choose to do it digitally and send them the web view versus this PDF. You can see it's very long. There's a lot of data that they perhaps don't want to read or see. By sending them the web-based presentation, they can choose what they want to see or not. So from here, you could print it, download it, send it to your client, do whatever you want. So this is the print version, okay? So again, you could do web version, print version. You can email it directly to them, which is my recommendation. I can tell you right off the back that probably most agents don't do this. They'll print it and send it in PDF. So why not impress your clients and send them this beautiful presentation that's interactive through the web and stuff. Okay, so moving on. Okay, so if you want to archive your presentations, that's all archive means. So if I want to click this presentation and archive it, you'll see it'll go away right now. So archiving will just take it out of your view right here, but it's not deleted. So if you don't want to delete it, but you don't want to see it every day because maybe you have 20, 30 CMAs here and you want to just have you want to view only the ones that you have that you're working on, then you can do so. If you want to go back to it, you can go here. This is all your CMAs or your presentations, and you can choose. You want to see just the seller ones, just the buyer ones, the buyer tour, the non-listing, and then archive. So if you go to archived, there it is. Now you can click on the button and you can unarchive. And you see it's gone. Now this one goes back to, and there you go, okay? Let's see what else. Now assigning it. So let's just say I want to, I created it, it's branded under Ruben Perez, right? But I want to assign it, and I'm actually gonna assign this. So let's do a hit assign, right? And let me move this. And I'm gonna assign it to, let me see, I'm gonna assign it to Edgar. And then you go search. Now this is within our brokerage, okay? You can't assign it to a Keller Williams agent or a C21 agent. It's not through the MLS, it's through our brokerage, okay? Search. You see there's Edgar. So I'm gonna assign it to him. So once you hit assign, just know that it's going to be completely away. You're not going to have access to it anymore. This is going to be Edgar's presentation now. So I'll hit assign and you'll see it's going to go away. So the only way to get that back is for Edgar to assign it back to me. So by doing so, when Edgar opens it up, it's going to be the exact same presentation, but it's going to be branded to Edgar. Okay, so it's going to have all his information, his photo. So if you're working with another agent and doing a team, you can assign him. There's also a way to do a co-presentation, and I'm going to show you this right now. Let me just show you first. I'm going to view this presentation. You see the branding here where it has my information. Mr. Buyer is going to be your buyer. I just put Mr. Buyer because, you know, I should have put a person's name, Scott or whatever. But this is your branding right here, right? That's the first page, or any page that has branding. So when we go back to the button where it says co-presenter, right? Let's say you're a team, or you're sharing commission and you both want to get recognition, right? Or you're both prospecting the same client. You guys, let's just say you guys went door knocking together. And then, you know, let's say this is a listing presentation, right? And you want to present it to the seller that you guys were going door knocking. So you could actually do that. Now let me show you. I'm going to put, let me see if I can find Doug Myers. There you go. So I just added him. See, he's here. And if I wanted to take him out, you could take him out here. I guess you could go with even 3 people if you wanted to, but that's not going to be, I don't think that's going to ever happen. But now there's a co-presenter, right? So now if I go back in there, you see the little two little icons there of 2 people. That's telling you that the presentation is with 2 agents. And then I'll give you an example. So now you have 2 agents there. I mean, realistically, you're not going to ever have, I mean, in the commercial world, I think you can have the capabilities of more than 2 agents, but I don't think in residential you'll ever have that. So if you want to, you know, present this with another agent, you can do that. However, just keep in mind that I'm the creator of the presentation, so it's going to be in my inbox unless I sign it to Doug. Okay. There's also a way to, if I assign this to Edgar, right, I'm taking myself out of the equation. So it's still going to be co-listed. It's still going to have Doug Myers information in there because I'm not removing his, but I'm assigning it to Edgar. So now it's going to be Edgar and Doug. So if you wanted just to assign it to Doug, you could just assign it to him and it'll remove you as the co-presenter. Okay. I think that's it for these little icons here. I'm going to dive into actually making a presentation. I'm going to do a seller's presentation, and then I'm going to do a buyer's presentation. So does anybody have any questions so far? No? Okay. So to create a presentation, I went over this last week, so I'm not going to go in depth, but I wanted to go over it again so everybody understands. But if you have any questions, feel free to ask. So you're going to go here to create new. So whatever presentation you're creating, you always want to do create new. Okay, let's go ahead and click on that. And we're going to start with the seller's presentation. Okay, seller's presentation.
Question here.
Yes.
Oscar.
Hey, Robert, how you doing? I was trying to ask you that question before, but for some reason I couldn't do it.
Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, you know, after if you archive the presentation and you assign it to somebody else, will you be able to get it from the archive, or it's gone from the archive too?
If you assign it to someone else, you're not going to even have it in your archive. It's gone from
Oh,
your
it's gone. Oh, okay.
from your CBDesk. If you assign it, that means you're giving it away. You're giving it to whoever. I think I did it for you too, Oscar.
Yeah.
But
I just had a question about the archive. Yeah. Okay.
yes. So no, if you archive it, it's still yours. It's just in a different folder. So here's your folders. So if I click on seller, right, it's only going to give me the seller presentations. Watch, you see? Now, if I click, I only want buyers presentations that I have. It's going to just show me the buyer ones, which I don't think I have any. And if I do a buyer tour, there's the buyer tours. And now if I click on archive, it'll only show the presentations that I've archived. That's archive is kind of like stored, put away in case you want to come back to it. Let's just say you have a client that you send a presentation to, but they're not interested. They said, oh, you know what, get back to me next year. Maybe I'll sell next year, or maybe I'll buy next year. So you archive it, and then, you know, you come back to it when they're ready to buy. So you create a presentation. This is the great thing about these presentations, because if you create a presentation through Cloud CMA or something like that, you actually have to print it. You have to make you have to create it on PDF. So that will never change, okay? This is interactive. It communicates with your MLS. So let's just say, Oscar, for instance, you were thinking of buying, right? And I sent you a presentation. And you called me back and you said, you know what, I'm gonna hold off, you know, I'm gonna get a settlement maybe in October. Let's talk about it in October, right? So I can save it, right? Because you still want to find a house in the same area. Let's say you were looking for a house in Highland Park, and I created this report for you, right? This presentation. I can go back to my archive, pull out the report that the presentation that I created for you, right? And then I can just go back to the search, and it's going to give me all the updated MLS information. So I don't have to create a whole new report. I just have to update it with current data. You can't do that with any other CMA platform and stuff. So that's why this is such a great resource for all the agents that everybody should be using. Does that make sense?
Yes, but once again, once you assign it, then it's gone from the archive and from everything, right?
In your CV, it's not it's not gone like deleted. If you delete it, it's gone forever. If you archive it or if you assign it, it's going to be owned by, let's say if I assign it to you, Oscar, then it's going to be in your CV desk, okay, in your Moxie Present. If I want it back, then you have to assign it back to me, and then it'll show up in my dashboard.
Okay,
Does that
thank
make
you.
sense?
Thank you. Amadi has a question.
I have a question. When you assign to another agent, your partner, when you send the presentation to your partner, can he edit it? If he want to change something, can he do it?
That's a good question. You mean like when it's co-presented?
Yeah, you have a partner, right? You send it to another agent. Can the
Right.
other agent edit it? And maybe he doesn't like this house, can he change in another house?
Maggie, that is a very good question. I didn't even think about that. I am going to find out, and I'm going to let you all know. But from my understanding, I think he cannot, because you are the creator. So if you create it and just adding your co-presenter with you, like like two agents, I think it's still going to be in your Moxie Present. But that's a very good question, and I'm going to get back to you on that. Yeah, so your question, Maggie, just to make sure, is that if I add you to my presentation, so it'd be Ruben Perez and Maggie, right? Maggie Chow as co-presenters, that if you go into your Moxie Present, if you can edit it, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
That's the question.
yeah. I'm sorry, did you have a question?
Jeffrey,
Yes.
okay, if I created a presentation, whether it's a buyer's listing or a presentation for the seller, if I would like to have, let's say I have another partner, I would co-assign it to you. Let's say you're my partner. Before co-assign it to you, maybe I made a duplicate. And then after I'm making a duplicate, I can co-assign it to you. So I want to use that on my screen.
So you want to have one with two agents and one with one?
Mhm.
Let me try it. Here we go. So I'm going to do a duplicate here, right?
Correct.
For Yosemite Way. Everybody can see this, right?
I want to have my duplicate before
Okay.
I assign it to another one.
Okay, so you see this is a copy. It says copy, right?
Correct.
This is the same as this one.
Correct.
So let me see. I'm going to do a
That's right.
co-presenter, right?
Mhm.
You always have to press search. Okay, I'm going to do it with you, Jeff. All right. Yeah, so it looks like you can do that. So if you guys notice that there's two little people right here on this copy of Mr. Jones on Yosemite Way, and then the original one still only has myself on there. So
Correct.
yes, Jeff, you can do that.
Correct. Just
Okay.
preserve that, just preserve the original one. Thank you.
Correct. So the only question pending is if Jeff here can actually, you know what I'm gonna do, Jeff? I'm gonna leave this presentation as a co-presenter with you.
Correct.
Later on during the day, check your desk and see if you have this in your tile. in
Okay.
your- In your dash.
Gotcha.
And
Gotcha.
that will answer our question, okay?
Gotcha.
All right. So we're gonna dive into the presentation, okay? So you create new, we're gonna do a seller's presentation right now, okay? You click on seller and you go continue, okay? So there's different templates, but I always just use the broker template, okay? The by default. There's some that are very long. There's some for global luxury. If you do a global luxury, you're more than happy. You can always remove some pages, but there's some templates that are like 30 pages long. That's way too long for a presentation. I think 12 pages as long as it is long too, but that's what we have. You can also delete some pages if you don't wish to include it in your presentation, okay? So we're gonna hit continue. And then you're gonna prepare for who? Let's just put Jeffrey, right? Just because I was talking to him. And then you, if you don't see a CMLS right here, that means it's not connected, okay? That's another secondary indicator that it's not gonna communicate with the MLS. And then you're not gonna be able to get comps, okay? So let's go ahead and create this. Takes a little bit of while, so don't freak out at this page. You can see a little, there you go, the little wheel. All right, so right here, you could do an MLS number, which is kind of like a pro tip. It'll autofill all the information from the property based on a previous MLS entry, or you can just put in the address, and then you're gonna need to know like bedroom count, square foot. For the sake of today, I'm gonna put in MLS number. I have one ready. Okay, and you press copy here, okay? Now I use this just so I don't have to input all the information. It's gonna give you the MLS area, the address, zip code, all the particulars of the property, living room. So it's a previous agent's MLS, but I'm using it just for the sake of getting all the data and not having to input it all. One thing though, you want to delete all the agent remarks because that is the other agents. Remember, this is a seller's presentation, so I am presenting it to the seller to hopefully win the listing, okay? All right, we're gonna press continue. All right, so here is where you as an agent has to do your due diligence and pick the most appropriate comps for your report, okay? So that's where you would look into this, this comp is a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, it's 1,450 square feet. It's sold on 10/5, it's a little outdated, that's 4 months old, so maybe move on. Here's another one, it's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,200 square feet, it's a little bit smaller, but it's sold in November of last year. It's a little bit more recent. So that's where you would have to put in your intuition and pick the comps that you feel best for this report. So I'm going to go ahead and choose this one right here. This was in December. And then I'll pick another one, and then I'll pick one pending, and then maybe 2 active. Now I'm not going through them and verifying the square footage, bedroom count. That's where you would have to do all that. I'm just picking them just so I can move on and show the presentation, okay? But this is where you would click them. Now, if you wanted to, let me unclick these really quick. Now, if you wanted to, if you actually click on the comp, you can actually get into the details too. So it'll give you more of the details if you want to go into more depth of that comparable sale, okay? And then if you want, if there's a ton of comps and it's just too much data, you can do a radar or a draw. I'm going to do both so you can show it. This little star that's orange, that's going to be your subject, okay? So you always want that subject to be the center of the map, okay? So if I do a radius, you just click radius with your left, the left click on your mouse, and then you click on the star and then just pull it out. Okay, when you stop pulling it out, it's going to tell you the radius up here, 0.8 radius. Okay, so it's within a mile. And just for the sake of this, I'm going to run it. There's my comps. Okay. So if I wanted to do a draw, let's just say south of this street right here of Washington is a whole different neighborhood. It's just because I know the neighborhood, right? So these comps up here are superior than the ones down here. So I don't want to use these down here. So radius wouldn't work, right? So what I want to do is click on the draw, and then I'm going to say anything above here is what I want. And there it gives me the search. So like if it was bordering Arcadia over here and Altadena, and you wanted to stick just within this little pocket, that's where you would use the draw tool, okay? So you could also filter it through here. You have bed, bath. So that way it kind of filters all, you don't want anything less than, 3 bedrooms and 1 bath. If you do that, it'll remove some of the comps and stuff. Okay. Just for the sake of moving on, I'm going to pick any comps. Okay. And then you press continue. Okay. So this is kind of like a summary of the listings that you have chosen. And then it gives you a summary of the data right here as well. You can sort it, low to high, high to low, and then you could also add a custom listing if you wanted to. If you wanted to remove a listing, you just simply click on this little X right here, remove it, and it's gone. Okay. If you want to add one, you just add another listing, or you could just go back to search. Don't be afraid to go back and forth. Go back to search. You're not going to lose anything. It's going to auto save. See, all these are still clicked. I took one off, so I'm going to add another one just for the sake of this report. And I'm going to go to continue. And then you go back to this page where it gives you all the data, right? Okay. And then now we're going to go to the next page. You press continue. And it's going to give you like a summary of the listings, and then it's going to give you an estimated pricing. Now this pricing is not set in stone. So if you think that it should be higher, lower, let's just say I'm going to put 10999, right? If you wanted to put some remarks here, you can put these remarks. That will be shown to in your presentation. If you want to say, hey, due to there's very little comps out there, but I feel this is, the best price point for your home to be sold quickly or something like that. Whatever you want to write. Now, if you want to give your seller an estimated net proceeds, this is the page that you would do so. Okay, so you would click on estimated net proceeds. Right, you would need some data from the seller though. Okay, so you would need to know roughly what they owe, if they have a second, and then any property taxes or anything that would need to be paid off, like solar panels or what have you. So based on this report, I'm going to put 099,000. Right, let's just say I interviewed them and they owe 501 on the first, and they have a small second for 26,000, right? Now, I'm going to present it with 2.5% just to be a little bit more competitive. If you want to put 3, you put 3. If you want to put 2%, whatever you feel that is going to be the best for you to win this listing, this is where you would put it, okay? Escrow fee, I'm just gonna put 2,500, title 2,500. Now, if you really wanted to be fine-tune this net proceed, I would recommend contacting escrow or title and giving them the scenario, and that way they can give you, you know, a pretty accurate number so you can fill them in here and be more accurate. Or you could just omit the whole seller's proceeds entirely and not even deal with it and stuff. It's up to you, okay? This is your presentation. Now, if there's annual taxes, state tax, county tax, these are all things that they know they're gonna have to pay, but for the most part, here's the commissions, here's their mortgages that they have to pay off, and then escrow and title, okay? This custom cost, that's where you would put like solar. Let's just put solar. They owe 15,000 for the solar panels, right? Okay, we're gonna save that. You can add more too, okay? And then when you could continue, and you're pretty much done. This is your this is where you would review your pages. So here's your cover page. I think it looks beautiful. And then you go to your summary, location map, listings overview, and see how it's interactive. And then side by side, status comparisons, listing averages. Now here's your net proceeds, right? I know a lot of agents don't want to, oh, I put 10 million instead of 1 million. So the net proceeds are inaccurate. Actually, let's go back to that. Let's go ahead. You see where, let me go back to edit pages. If you go here, there should be a little, you see where I clicked on the little pencil there to edit it? Actually, I'm gonna have to go back to estimate. So you go back to estimate, right? And then you go to net proceeds and change that to, there you go. So if you make an error, don't worry about it. Just make sure you review your work, make sure it's accurate. Otherwise, you know, your client's gonna see that they're getting a lot more. So go back to net proceeds. You see now it's accurate, okay? But if you don't want to show this page, right? You're like, you know what? I don't want to show this page right now. I'll get, once I win the listing, or if we get to that point, I'll create a more accurate seller net proceeds but I don't want it in the presentation, right? See this little X right here? You just remove it. Okay. Agent profile, maybe you don't want your agent profile. You can just edit it, right? You can just remove it here, okay? If you want to add, if you deleted the seller's net proceeds and you want to add it back, you're like, oh no, you know what? I do want it. It's okay. Just go for add from library, seller's net, you add that. Then you go back to pages and it's back on. Pretty simple, right? Now, if you're comfortable with all this, right, then you could just do a view, web view. This is what your seller is going to see, okay? And if any of you have ever seen it on your cell phone, it's phenomenal. These reports look very, very beautiful, professional, and most sellers, I would say about 80% are going to view them on their cell phone. Everybody's on their cell phone or tablet. There you go. So let's just say we went through it all. We're fine with it, right? And then you could just send it right here. That's where you would send it. I'm going to send it to myself. I'll send it to my personal email. Again, your subject line is what your email is going to show in bold. Okay, so let's list your home today. Okay, I want them to see that, and then I'll put hi Ruben, and just put whatever you want, whatever message you want to put there. That's where your personal message would be, and then you send it. See, I'm going to get a copy anyways. And that's it. Now let me go into my email. Oh, you know what? It's in my personal email. But I should have got a copy of it. Let's see. Not yet. There we go. There's my email. You click on that. And that's exactly what they see. All right. So that's a seller's presentation. These buttons over here. When you could also create a quick flyer. I haven't really played with this, but you can, if you do a view a quick flyer, you'll see it. It's just a one pager of the data that you've created. But for the most part, you want to send this presentation to, and you could also assign it from here as well. Any questions yet?
Ruben, good
Yes.
morning. This is Shirley.
Sure.
Yes, I have a question. I have two questions. One about what you said when you co-assign someone and you sent, you said already automatically when you co-assign someone is already the in that case the presentation in the other email from your co-signer from you who you are co-assigned.
You mean in their, it's not going to be in their email. It's going to be.
Because that I don't know, I misunderstand, but when you did you add to Geoffrey to your presentation, you said, okay, Geoffrey gonna get his email.
Not
Because
his-
yes.
Go ahead, finish.
Yeah, one time I did, with a co-assigner, someone, we did the co-listing together and, they didn't get the email. I don't know if they didn't check or.
I think you're confusing email and CB and Moxie Present. When I assign it to you as an agent to another agent, Shirley, when you go into Moxie Present, that presentation is going to be in your Moxie Present. Like if you built it, like for instance, let me go to my home real quick. Yes. So when you go to your Moxie Present and you see the presentations that you've created, you're also going to see the one that I assigned to you. Now it's your presentation.
Yeah, that one is when you assign. When you assigned, you give it to your who you assigned that one. But I said about when you co-present to somebody, because you created on your website on the CB desk.
Right.
Yes, and you said right now you did with Geoffrey and you put him like a co-agent. But you said, okay, when you when you do that one, he will have it in the CB desk too, in his CB desk, because that is what you said. He will check and he will do it only because you adding him like a you co-assign.
So I don't understand your question, Shirley. If right now this Yosemite Way right here, right, it's co-presented, right?
Yeah, co-presenter. Yes.
Let's click on it real quick.
When you add a co-presenter in your presentation.
So this right here is with me and Jeff, right?
Okay.
So what do you want me to do with this report? You want me to email it to the client, to Jeff, or?
No. When you add it automatically, he will have it too in his CB desk or not?
Oh, we don't know that. That's where I was asking Jeff to check his to check his Moxie Present a little bit later, or if he can right now, and see if it's in his presentation. But I believe it's only going to be in my Moxie Present.
I believe it too.
Yeah. So I don't have that answer just yet, because that's a very good question. It's never been brought up before. Jeff, I don't know if you have access to your laptop right now to see if you have that.
I will check it. Okay.
Okay, and I'll get back to you. Yeah, I don't know if Shirley, like for instance, if I have this report right here and I add you as a co-presenter, right? I don't know yet if you have the capabilities. First and foremost, I don't know if you will actually see it on your end, on your present, And then two, if you do, I don't know if you have the ability to edit it since we are co-presenters.
I believe so. Only if you email to me, I will be able to see it, but not to edit because you created on your CV desk.
Right,
And
right.
that is, yeah.
So that's something I'm gonna find out and then I'll let you guys.
Mhm. And another question to Ruben. About what you said, okay, to send it the email to the client. I received some advices, like, you know, when we create a presentation to our client, like when we're trying to get a listing, like I'm doing now is I'm going over there and what I did is I show them in my laptop. And then after I show them, okay, I email to them, but I don't email them before my presentation because I don't know, I receive an advice like, you know, sometimes when you do that, the client, okay, they have all the information, what are you going to show them? And for the reason, probably they can cancel your appointment or something like, is that true or?
I don't think so, you know, and again, when I say email it to them, I'm not saying email it to them like a week in advance. What I was actually going to recommend is emailing it to them the day before. So let me show you something really quick. So I'm going to use this presentation that I put Jeffrey on, and I'm going to edit it, okay? What I'm working on right now, and Edgar is helping me, is if you can create a short 15-second video saying, hi, Shirley, you know, I'm sorry, let's say you're the seller. Hi, Shirley, this is Ruben. I'm excited for tonight. We have a presentation meeting tonight at 5 o'clock. I wanted to send you a quick message and first thank you for the opportunity for using my service or whatever message you want to put, right? You could record that really quick and put it into your presentation. So let's go to pages real quick. And then I'm going to add a page. Okay.
Ruben,
Yes.
hi, this is Irma.
Hi, Irma.
There's something that you mentioned to me yesterday. I know the scenario might be a little bit different than what Shirley was talking about, how she was giving advice to show it to them in person. But there's one thing that you mentioned that really stood in my mind. It's like, if she doesn't sell it like for a seller, somebody else will. So you don't want to miss that opportunity, like you mentioned to me yesterday, regarding the person that I know, her mom had a massive heart attack, and the house could go for 1.2 million. We've been trying to meet up, and this is somebody that I've known for a long time. But like you told me, don't miss that opportunity if you have a difficult time setting an appointment with a customer, whether it's a friend or somebody that might know you, to email it.
Yeah, I think, well, I understand what Shirley, I think your concern is giving them all the information and all the data so that they don't really need you anymore. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, if you feel like, you know, that's going to be the case, then yeah, you can, you know, by all means, if you feel more comfortable just presenting it to them in person, then do so. But this capability of emailing it, let's say you have a farm, right? We went through some farm scenarios with Nicole this past Wednesday, right? And let's say you get a list of 200 absentee owners in, you know, the area where I live, right? I just want to do the area that I live. And, you know, you have 200 emails that you purchased, right? There's 7 cents in the email. So it comes out to like $7 or whatever, right? So sending this, you have an email to an owner that lives, you know, probably outside the state or whatever and stuff. You have the capabilities of sending 5, 10 of these a day and sending it straight to the seller. So in that case, you're not really trying to win a listing, but you're actually just presenting a CMA to that seller, and hopefully, you know, one of these will turn into a client and a listing and stuff. So, but in your scenario, I would almost email it the morning of and reminding them that, hey, just reminding you that we have a meeting, appointment scheduled for 5 o'clock. I'm excited to meet you guys. You know, here's a presentation in
Hi,
advance
Wolfman.
for your review and stuff.
Hi.
Irma, can you mute
He's not-
yourself, please?
Oh, I'm sorry.
So you could also include videos into your presentation. For instance, I'm gonna go ahead and do that right now. So you can add pages from your library, or you can create a new. I'm gonna create a new. You could upload a PDF. I'll do both, but let's just do a build a page, okay? And then I'm gonna create a template, whichever template you want, right? And then I'm gonna upload a video, right? Let me see where that video is. Let me see what's this video. I don't know what the video is, but we'll see. Okay, so there's a video right there. Let me see if I have a better one. Hang on. Let's see what this one is right here. No, that one won't work. So it has to be a valid URL. So let's just put this one. But if you had a video of yourself, you could put that in there. So let's go ahead and save that.
Ruben, I like the idea, what you said about when you're farming and you have too many potential clients and you know you want to do it a comparable market and send it to have your video and send it the presentation ahead.
Yes.
That's a wonderful idea.
Yeah, definitely. So now if you click on this, right, we're going to view it. So there's the first page. And there's a video. And then they scroll down. You see how I mean that it's interactive? It's a very, very beautiful, highly technical presentation. So if I'm going to do another thing too, watch, I'm going to show you, if you have a bio of yourself, like with your picture or something that's going to make you stand out above the competition, you could also do that too. You go to pages, add a page, right? And I'm going to do create new, and I'm going to upload a PDF. Choose the file. Let me see if I remember what the file name is. Right here. Let's just do this one. Upload. So now this bio, it's like, why choose my services? I just created this just as an example, but you can do whatever you want to do. Obviously, you would change the pictures and stuff like that. But I just wanted to show you how you can upload a PDF that you generated that's going to describe your services, you know, and what you're going to do for them to sell their house. So this bio, let's just say I want to put it after the video. I want them to see the video first. You just move it over and then it'll be second. So first it'll be the cover page, then the video, and then the why choose my services. And then it goes into the presentation. So the reason why I put them first, a bio on yourself, is because they get lost over here. Some people won't even go all the way to the end. So, but if you wanted to put your bio at the very end, you just click it, put it all the way at the end. That's it. You're done. And it goes straight into it.
Hey, Ruben, Jeffrey,
Yes, Jeffrey.
I just checked on my percent, Moxie percent, the one that you co-assigned.
Yeah,
I have not received it. It's not showing there.
it's not showing. So
No.
I'll make sure I'm gonna call, CB Desk, and then I'll make sure that that is the case, but I'm almost certain whoever created and whoever has the actual presentation in their, Moxie Present is gonna be the one that has the one that's gonna be able to be edited, and the co-list, the co-agent will not be able to edit it unless you assign it to them, okay? But I'll verify that. All right, does everybody understand how Moxie Present works for a seller? All right, I'm gonna go to home and I'm gonna run through a buyer's presentation really quick. Okay, so again, you go back to your main desk, your main, what do you call this? Moxie Present page, and then you go click new, create new. And then a property preview, it's pretty similar to the seller preview. It's just you're not presenting it to a seller for a listing. So I really don't use it. You're just doing a CMA for a certain property for, I don't know what purpose it would be. So it's kind of weird that it's there because it's exactly the same as a seller presentation, but it's just to review a property. So
Maybe Ruben, the property review, they can use it when they're farming, like the idea, what are you say, farming with the mini video of yourself to present it, okay, or give it a presentation about, you know, the property and all around, or
You know
everything
what?
what is around.
yeah, that is true, you know, so you're not really necessarily pitching them to list with you, but you're showing them a review of their property. So yeah, you can definitely use it. But these two, the seller and property preview, they're almost identical. So they both serve the same purpose, okay? Buyer's tour. Now this is what you would use when you have a buyer that wants to look for, you know, you're gonna tour, like, let's just say 3 properties, okay? Go ahead and press continue. Let's just say I'm gonna put Shirley, right? Create it. Now, again, this is one of the most, this is why being connected to the MLS is very important, because you're not gonna be able to search for the properties. Okay, so you can change this photo if you have a picture of your clients or whatever you want to do. You can just, so let me show you how you do that. You click on browse right here. I'm just going to pick any photo for the sake of, see what picture do I have. I'm just going to put a picture of myself right now. Okay, then you go continue. Now there's 2 ways you can do this for a buyer's tour. So again, you're gonna go out this weekend and you're gonna show them 3 houses, okay? If you already know the MLS numbers, then you put the MLS number. You click on MLS, you put the MLS number and it'll pop up. If not, then you would have to, you know, let's just say I am going to choose Highland Park, right? It's coming. See, it's thinking right now. It's getting all the listings in that area. Okay, so again, when you're doing a buyer's tour, you can use a radius. You could do a draw. Let's do a draw. They want to be in closer to the freeway right here. All right. Now, you know, you've communicated with the buyers, the potential buyers, and you've already chose which ones you want to show. So let's just pick this one. Oops, that one's sold. Oh, why are these pending? It should be active. Filters. Oh, here we go. So we need to do is close, take these out. They should have the active ones. Why aren't they showing active ones? Oh, here we go. Any active. So we're not doing those. Okay, let's do that again. Just search again. There we go. So make sure you only use the active, because that's what this is for. It's for to show your property, show properties to the buyer. Let's go ahead and click these. And I'm just gonna click that one. Again, why are they doing so? So I guess the filters are always gonna do that. So let me unclick all these. Active only. All right, we want to see that one, this one, and that one, right? Let me go to continue. So you pick 3 properties that I'm going to show Shirley, okay? And then this is a little breakdown of, actually it has 4. So there's 4 properties that I am going to show them, right? So if you wanted to change, okay, so you're going from 1 up here and then over here and over there. So let's go ahead. I want to start with number 4. So then you would just change the order. I want to go 4 is going to be first, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go 4 over here. That's the order in which I am going to show it. Save the order. This is going to be meeting time. Let's just say it's going to be, we're going to start at 9 o'clock, right? And then this is going to be for this coming tomorrow, let's just say. Continue. And this is it. So it's going to give your buyer a breakdown of the properties that that you're going to show them. It's also going to give you an overview of the properties, side-by-side comparison, pretty much like a little CMA for all the properties that they're going to look for. You could remove or add, and then you pretty much just send it on its way. So I'll send it to Shirley. I don't think there's very many at Gmail. Let's just put gmail.com. Very many agents that use this, but I think it's a powerful tool for if you're a buyer's agent and you're showing your clients some homes. It's going to set you aside from the competition. It's very, very professional. Subject, you could put homes we are going to see tomorrow, right? And then greeting, hi Shirley. Please review, whatever, and then you send it. Again, I'm going to get a copy of it too. So let me see if it comes in so you guys can see what it looks like. Well, it's going to look like this. View it. If you wanted to print it, you could print it too. Oh. Again, you could change the picture so you don't have my big chin right there and stuff. That's a buyer's tour, okay? Now, let's just say this 911 Laguna Road, right? Let's say they like that house and they want to make an offer on it, right? So then you would go to home. And you would create a buyer's profile for the property that they want to make an offer on. And again, this takes like 3-4 minutes to generate. It's very easy to generate these presentations. It does all the work for you. Oh, so if you have the MLS number, you would put it in there. So let's just put this one. Let's just say that was the one that they looked at, right? And then we're going to put continue. Should be thinking. Oops. See? And then I'm going to click that one, continue. That's the house. Oh, actually, let me go back. Sorry. That's it. Import. So this is a home that we're searching. Let's just take this out real quick. right? And we're gonna go next. I'm gonna go location. Let's just click this one, and this one, just for the sake of creating a report. Continue. If you want to do estimated closing costs, this is where you would do your closing costs. Purchase price is going to be, let's just say, I don't know what it's marketed for, but let's just put let's put $1 million, right? And then down payment, if they're going to put 20% down, let's just say they put in 20% down, you should populate. Let's see. There you go. Oops. There you go, 800,000. Let's just say they're gonna pay 1 point. Closing costs 1,500, title 1,500. I'm just putting the numbers in there. Appraisal is gonna be 600, credit report $50. Inspection is gonna be 500, home warranty 500, home insurance 1,200. Then the seller's gonna give, you know, $5,000 in credit, let's just say. And then you go continue. And there's a report. So how many agents do you think send this type of report to their buyers for a property that they're gonna make an offer on? Very few, right? Let's review it real quick. It's beautiful.
Excuse me, Oscar, I have a question on the estimate here.
Yeah,
Can you put a percentage instead of putting like you don't know how much each item is gonna cost, you know, like title and all that. So, you know, we use like 2 to 3% of the selling price. Is there a way to just put like a percentage to get an estimate? Or this or
I
you have
don't
to read those numbers?
I don't think there's a percentage that you can put for escrow. But let's see. We'll
You know,
go-
usually it's about 2 to 3%, but you know, we usually use 3% to be on the safe side.
Yeah, you would have to do the calculation yourself. Again, this is just an estimate. If you wanted to get more accurate information, there's apps through your title reps or escrow officers. I know that Nicole has one that will generate your seller's net and also buyer's closing costs. You just put in the address, the county it's in, and the sales price or listed price, and it'll give you the estimate. Or you can just call, like you would call Albemoy and say, hey, if you know I have a buyer that's going to buy a house for this much, can you tell me what escrow and title would be? You can do that too. I was just using an example. Some things are percentages, like the down payment and then the points. But unfortunately for escrow and title and these fees right here, you can't do a percentage. So you would have to actually, but if you don't want to get into how much they're going to need to close, you can leave that up to your lender and let them call the loan officer, and the loan officer will let them know exactly what they would need to close. And then you would just delete the purchase cost, and there you go. So if you don't know the cost, then don't put it in. Just leave it out of your report or your presentation.
Okay,
Okay.
Thank you.
So we went over the sellers, a buyer's tour, and also a buyer's. I was going to go over when you go. Let's go create a new. This one that says non-listing, it really doesn't have anything in there. I'm going to show you. See, it's 2 pages. So it's basically just a brand. It's giving you your cover sheet and it's giving you your bio. When will you use this? Let's say, for instance, you're doing a commercial. I'll actually do one. Let's say you're doing a commercial presentation. You wanted to use Moxie because Moxie, you're able to email the presentation. Let's say you're dealing with a seller that's out of state, right, for a commercial property. Well, you can import a PDF. Let's just say, let's see, seller. let's say through CoStar or any other platform, you created a offering memorandum, OM for a commercial property, right? Well, you can import it. So this is only gonna have 2 pages, right? Your cover and then your end. So what you need is the meat in between, right? Which is your report. So it's not gonna interact with the MLS, obviously, because we don't have the capabilities on the commercial side to communicate with CoStar. But what you can do is add the report in the middle, so it'll be the meat of the presentation. So let's just go ahead and create new, upload PDF, and I'm just going to put any PDF just for the sake of, let's see, I'll do buyer presentation. Let's just do this real quick, right? Upload it. Now, this is not a presentation for a seller. I'm just showing you what you can actually put into a presentation and then send it. So like if you can't, if this can't communicate with a commercial MLS like CoStar, then you would just generate the report and then put it into this presentation. It just creates a branding for you and the capabilities of emailing it and showing it to them on a web view. It takes a while for it to upload, so let's see.
Ruben, but
Yeah.
for upload those files, usually, like what you said before, if we want to make a video, we need to know what resolution and what kind of video we're going to do for that would be perfect for the presentation. That would not be just anything. What are we going to do it? Because usually we take our phones or we can make a video with our phone, but I don't know if that will be the video what we need to put in that presentation.
So your video needs a URL. So you need to host it. Like, so if you do a video on your phone, you would have to upload it onto, like, let's say YouTube. And then you would put that URL from YouTube onto the Moxie presentation. And then your video would be on Moxie, on your presentation. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, so you would have to, you have to upload it into like YouTube or some sort of URL hosting that hosts your video, and then when your client opens it, it'll direct them to that URL. So this is taking a little bit of time, but let's just see. Well, I'll show you an example here. When you upload it, it'll look like this. So here's a commercial presentation, right? That's the property, commercial presentation, right? It's branded with me. Even though it's not communicating with MLS, I'm able to put the information in there. So there's that, property information. So basically, you can put any presentation or any PDF into this presentation, so that way you have the capabilities of sending it to your seller or buyer or potential client prospect. There you go. Does that make sense? Any questions? No? Clint, are you with us today?
Yes, I am. I think it's a perfect class.
I'll tell you, Clint was going to teach this class today.
Come
'cause
on.
honestly, how much time have you spent on Moxie Present?
Well, actually, I spent about half an hour with Ruben, and I think this is a powerful program. If we can just spend a little time on it, I think it could save you so much time when you're prospecting. And I think this is a great program.
Yep. Jeffrey, I know Jeffrey's fluent with it now too. He's creating reports almost every day, presentations every day. Maggie Maggie just learned yesterday, and I think she's ready to step up and start training as well. Who else yesterday? Oscar Castellon. He started yesterday. Oscar, what do you think of the Moxie Present?
It's a real powerful tool. I think everybody should use it because like you said, it's gonna make you look really good with your customers.
Yeah. So I know a lot of people fear technology, but it's not hard. You just have to dive in and just start practicing and doing scenarios and just playing around with it and stuff. It's if you can send these reports to 5 prospects, a day, then I'm almost certain you're gonna fall in some good business and stuff. So utilize it. So I think that covers all of Present. If anybody has any questions, yesterday we actually did a hands-on. If anybody wants to do like a hands-on training in our training room, email me and I'll actually let you guys do scenarios so you guys can practice. We did it yesterday and I think everybody did a very good job. And then later on in the next coming weeks, we're gonna go into Impress. Actually, before that, we're gonna go into my website, make sure everybody has their website launched, and then we're gonna do Impress, and then we're gonna follow up last with Engage, okay? But I think that covers all of Moxie Present. If anybody has any questions, feel free to ask. If not, I'll see you next Friday. Any questions?
Thank you, Ruben.
Thank you, Clint. All right, guys. Enjoy your weekend, and if you guys have any questions, just feel free to call me and I'll help you out with this Moxie Present, okay?
Thank you, Ruben. It's an excellent class.
Thank
Thank
you.
Thank you, Ruben.
All right, good.
Excellent class.
Great
Thank
job.
you.
Great job,
Bye-bye.
Ruben. Thank you.
All right, guys.
Thank you.